Melissa, the stage is yours.
I was this year GSoC student for X.Org Foundation. I am Linux kernel contributor, and now I am the newest VKMS maintainer. So in this summer, I worked to improve VKMS using IGT. VKMS is a software-only model of a KMS driver that enables a virtual display to test DRM and run X, and why not Wayland, in a headless machine. IGT is a set of tools to develop and verify the expected operation of DRM KMS drivers. And we can say that there is a mutualism between them, that improving one is fruitful to the other. So with this in mind, my primary goal was to deliver a fully working and bug-free subset of GPU tests. That was the KMS cursor CRC, to get a set of a sense of the amount of work. I started by checking the status of this test for VKMS. However, things didn't start so well here. The sequential execution was unstable. The unique run of a subtest was passing, but it failed when in the subtest sequence. This behavior caused confusion, annoyance, and a lack of confidence for both the VKMS and the test suite. At a time, I could only classify the issues. So we have tests skipped for not meeting requirements. This mentioned a cross-cutting issue in sequential execution that I call mood swing, and fixes. Test case that fail in any context. So VKMS did not meet some test requirements. The first was the cursor size that should be larger than the standard 64 by 64. And after some reading, I realized that I did not to invent the wheel, and VKMS software only. So setting the max width and height of the cursor in the mode configuration control structure was enough to increase the test coverage. With this solved, it's still missing non-square cursor size. However, I think it looks very specific for Intel drivers. And if I confirm it, I think it's better to move this part of the code to the Intel test suite. And the last missing requirement will only be met when the VKMS support more than one CRTC. And that is a little more complex work to do. So the biggest challenge of my project was the instability of sequential subtest execution. I started with the following information. I have inconsistent results between a unique execution and the sequential one due to a timeout failure while waiting for the first CRC. And the first failure triggered all the others. So initially, I suspected the test itself. I'm not sure if it is is a good way to start, but okay. And yes, it has an issue. When a failure happened, the test skipped the cleanup step. I had some progress, but was not enough. The situation just evolved from sequential failures to alternated failures. I thought there was a mismatch between VBlanks interruptions and the CRC captures. So I decided to set the pace, and the test should wait for VBlank before start the job. I thought it was necessary. And the second change seemed to work. While waiting for feedback, I shifted to the real failures. But it was not so real. The DPMS subtest was failing, but there is a commit in the past that reporting that it was working. So when did the situation change? Examining the Git history, I found the chain, but it was correct. And in addition, I received feedback of Eric and Eric Hiller and Daniel Vetter. And thanks, guys. And I realized my second change on KMS cursor CRC was not effective. And the IGT was not good here. So, well, time to ask the community for help. But how to start? IRC was still scary to me. So I tried the mail list and I found two people discussing a similar problem, Daniel and Sidon. And without invitation, I joined the thread and a long, very long debugging process started. I can say no, it was not just debugging. It was amazing co-debugging work. And during this process, I could also explore basic tools like ftrace, dmask, ctask, and key workflow. We did some wrong attempts, but thanks to Daniel's guidance, we found the most effective solution. That was to ensure VBlanks happens while the composer work and CRC capture is needed. In this path, solve almost everything, stabilize the test execution, recover the DPMS subtest, and the suspend test case is successful now. I also learned a lot with this co-working, and I felt now more comfortable talking to the community. So finally, the last failure, it was an old friend, my old friend. Initially, it just looked like a bug fix, but the fix just changed the situation from failure to warning. And the effective solution was to implement a to-do, a method to-do that is alpha blending. And that was what I did. And the last subtest was solved. But too good to be true. I decided to ask for trouble, and I changed the original transparent case to a kind of translucent cursor to test non-extreme alpha values, and this translucent case failed. I examined pixels, each pixel several times, to figure out that IGT and DRM consider premultiplied alpha. And the funniest thing is that this information is already documented. I updated the formula and also refactored the alpha test to include more alpha values. And then I sent each path to its Dewey project. Conclusion. Well, after this summer, VKMS passed in more test case of KMS cursor CRC, we could increase the task coverage and without failures or instabilities, and also got a new feature, the alpha blending of plans. Besides, I also could contribute to add write back to VKMS and KMS write back to IGT. Both was made by Rodrigo. And I reviewed some VKMS patches and also sent some improvements to key workflow. That is a set of scripts that helped me a lot in my development task. And so what is next? First, I am the newest VKMS maintainer, and I think I have a lot of work to do. I want to finish the implementation of overlay plan, and Rodrigo and I plan to check some ideas for implementing a CI for VKMS. So I would like to thank Rodrigo, Trevor, X.Org, and DRI community.
So far, nothing. And apparently, okay, there was a small hiccup with the stream, but it's back. Well, while waiting for some questions, I just want to say congratulations for managing to become already a maintainer in the kernel. This is something that is pretty rare.
Thank you.
Okay, and Daniel Stone is asking, did you already look at any CI solution like kernel CI or GitLab CI?
Yes, I did, and I think we could have some ideas from that to use IGT and this other solution for VKMS.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it. We don't have any other question. So thank you very much, Melissa.
Thank you.
And
yes, this is my contact. The way if anyone can contact me is in the screen. So So bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. And the next talk is going to be from James Jones and Simon Sir in 16 minutes.